everyone, and welcome to Journey with the Kellers. My name is Amanda Keller, and today we are back in the Keller kitchen. So today we are going to be making our next recipe in the Dolly Parton Dollywood cookbook. If you don't know, this was printed in 1989, I think it was. It is no longer in print. I fortunately was able to get a copy of it, and so I've just been going through them one by one and making the recipes so that eventually you guys will have the whole book on video, okay? So today's recipe is called Aunt Mollie's Icebox Rolls, okay? So there is a little bit of prep work that you are going to need to do for this to begin with, which reminds me I need to get my potato smasher here. There we go. Oh, come on. You're stuck all over it. Okay. So the first thing that you are going to need to do is you are going to need 1 cup of mashed potatoes. Now, you could probably make instant mashed potatoes and just use that, but you also are going to need a 1/2 cup of potato water, which would be the water that you boiled the potatoes in. So it would probably be a good idea just to boil some potatoes and then just mash them up, either with a potato masher, or you can use a fork, a spoon, whatever, okay? And you're supposed to do this when it's hot, okay? So, or you're supposed to mix all this together when it's hot. So you're gonna need some mashed potatoes. You're also gonna need 1 cup of scalded milk. Now, if you don't know what scalded milk is, it basically means you take the milk, you put it in a pan, turn it on to about medium heat, and you keep stirring it. Now, you have to keep stirring it to keep the proteins and stuff good, okay? So you keep stirring it, you'll start seeing little bubbles around the edge of the pan, and it'll start steaming, and you'll keep stirring it for a little bit, and then when it's nice and hot, and probably when it starts to just boil, you're gonna shut it off because it's done, okay? And then you should let it cool just a little bit. You don't want it to be scalding hot when you're using it, okay? I do have my potato water that I saved, so when you do boil your potatoes, which I didn't, if you're gonna boil your potatoes so that you can get the potato water, you of course just put some potatoes in a pan, cover them with water, and boil them for how long until they get to be soft. I usually use a fork to test them. If the fork goes through really easily, then they're ready. If it doesn't, then, you know, they still need to cook. It's usually about 15 to 20 minutes for small potatoes, anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes for larger potatoes, okay? Sometimes more, sometimes less. It's just kind of something, you know, it's probably going to have to boil for longer than 10 minutes. So it's just something you got to kind of keep going back and check and see when they're done, okay? When you do drain them, make sure that you drain. I just set my calendar that I have for draining on top of a bowl and put some of the water went into the bowl, okay? So you can save the water. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put the 1 cup of scalded milk. And you're going to put this all in a large bowl. You need 1 cup of mashed potatoes. I'm going to use the spoon to smooth out here because I'm not touching them. They're hot. Okay. So 1 cup of mashed potatoes. Good. You are going to need 2/3 of a cup of shortening or lard, which I do have the shortening here, but I do need a spatula to get it out with. And because I don't have a 2/3 measuring cup, I'm going to use the 1/3 measuring cup and just do it twice. So we're going to go ahead and scoop this out and pack it in there, okay? Now, if you have lard, of course, you can do this with lard too. I don't know if I can even find lard anymore. I haven't looked in a while. I know I could at least a year ago still find lard. I don't know about now. Okay, so there's 1/3. And we need 2/3. Okay. There we go. There's our 2/3. Fabulous. Okay, got that done. I don't know where to set that. Okay. Then you're also going to put in here a 1/2 cup of sugar. Wow, I forgot to get the sugar. Hold on. Woo. My goodness, it's easy to find, guys. Okay, so a 1/2 cup of sugar. And then also a tablespoon of salt, okay? Is that right? A tablespoon? Yeah, that's right. A tablespoon. That's a lot of salt. Woo. Okay, tablespoon of salt. There we go. All right, we're gonna go ahead and mix this all together. Okay. All right, so because it is, you know, basically kind of a salad mixed with it, the shortening did melt a little bit because it's warm, but not all the way. And that's perfectly fine. Just gonna make sure it's all mixed up. Okay. All right, so you kind of get like a funny looking shortening floating water there. Now you're supposed to let this cool, which actually mine's not that hot, so I think it's okay for us to continue. If yours is still super duper hot, I would definitely let it cool off, okay? All right, so what you're gonna do now is you are gonna take a half a cup of lukewarm potato water, which I have right here, and I gotta get a half a cup, so let me do this over the sink. There we go. And you're going to dissolve 2 packets of dry yeast. I am using active dry yeast in here. So here's 1 packet, and here is 2 packets. Okay, and you're gonna mix that together with a spoon. Dog licking boy. Delicious. All right. Here we go. I like to make sure I kind of get it all down in there. Get it nice and mixed up. So make sure you're getting everything down off the sides. If you have to, tip your thing, whatever you're using, to measure and stir it. Whoops. Get a little splooch on the floor. Okay. So now once your mixture is cooled down a little bit, you are going to go ahead and add this in to it. You're going to add the yeast with the water and 2 eggs as well. So 1 and 2. And we're going to go ahead and mix that up. Sure the yolk's all popped. Okay, so now it says to add to this about 7 cups of flour. So what I'm going to do with is start out with 6. I'm going to take my rings off because I know I'm going to be using my hands to do this. I'm going to start out with 6 cups, and then I will move from there. You know, if I feel like we need the 7th cup, then I will add it in. I'll have it ready. I got to rinse this cup out real quick. It's got mashed potatoes in it. Okay. Dry it off. The flour's not sticking completely to it, although it's probably still going to stick a little because it's not going to be completely dry. So it's just the way things go, guys. Okay, there we go. All right, so now you're going to put, I'm going to start, like I said, I'm going to start with 6 cups of flour. Make sure I've got some room here. Gotta clean up a little. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 5. And last one for now is 6. Oops. Some of that flour right down in there. There we go. Okay, 6. And then I am going to have the 7th one ready, just in case. I get a feeling we may need it, okay? And you want the dough to be stiff. So I'm going to start out with the spoon just to get the liquids all mixed in, kind of folding it in. Just because I don't want to get liquids all over my fingers too. So we'll just fold some of it in, get it started. And once some of the liquids start to get absorbed, then we'll go in with our hands and make the dough. There we go. That's looking pretty good, guys. Okay. So let's go in with our hands. Make sure you get everything off the sides. Now, if you don't want to use your hands, you're more than welcome to keep using a spoon or fork or whatever you feel comfortable with using. Everybody, I think, uses their own specific tools for things. If you're just a beginning, this is a good time to find out what you do like. All right, so it is feeling like it's going to be pretty stiff, but I don't know if there's quite enough flour or not. So we'll just keep turning it here. Make sure we grab up these loose things of flour. Actually, oh, not about knocked the whole bowl over. It's actually not doing too bad. Okay, good in there. It's looking good, looking good. I don't know if that's quite stiff enough of a dough. It's a little bit spongy, so I'm just gonna put a little bit more flour in. Now the hard part is getting flour to mix in after you've already pretty much made a dough. It's a little bit tougher to do it that way, but it'll go. You just got to keep kneading it and squashing it in there, guys. Feeling pretty good, feeling pretty good. A lot less sticky now. There we go. Get in there. Okay, so we're getting a pretty good dough, as you can see. But it isn't quite stiff. Still a little bit flimsy, maybe. So I'm going to go ahead, and I like to, whenever I'm adding flour to something that's already a dough, I kind of like to make kind of like a little well, like you would make in some recipes for when you're putting yeast in. And then I just fold that over. You know, some flour is going to come out like it just did. But I think that helps get it incorporated a little bit better. Kind of smashes it down in there. Okay. Much, much stiffer. Woo. And poofing some flour. Okay, you guys, I think this might be in good shape. It's a pretty stiff dough. Looks pretty good. I might put just a little bit more. Yeah, we'll just put the whole 7 in. Why not? Might make it a little too floury. I hope not. That time I didn't make my well deep enough before I put it in there, so now it's all on the outside. Now we really got to work to get it back in there. Okay, guys. So the good thing about these rolls are they're refrigerated, so that's why they're called Icebox rolls. So you can make this ahead of time, okay? And you can then cover it with a lid and put it in the refrigerator until it's needed. and it can stay in the refrigerator for up to 1 week, okay? So I am making this morning, and then I will come back this afternoon and make the rolls and show you guys how to do that, okay? Now, you are gonna need a little bit of time after you make the rolls because they will need to rise. So just make sure that you, do it accordingly. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep getting this mixed up. It's almost there. As you can see, it's still got quite a bit of flour on the outside, but it is making quite the stiff dough. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish mixing this up and put a lid on it and get it in the refrigerator. And then I will come back when I'm ready to make these up and show you guys what we do. So I'll be back in a little bit. You guys, so our rolls are nice and ready. Well, the dough is, so here it is. Now when I took it out of the refrigerator, I did kind of knead it a little bit just to make sure it's kind of all nice and mixed in together. So now what you're going to do is you're gonna roll out your rolls. Now, there's several ways to do this. Some people just basically make a ball or an oval, depending on what they want to do. You could just do something like that where it's kind of a flat thing and set it on your pan. However you want to do that, that's up to you. You can also do the thing where you kind of make a little bit of a ball and then you take like the undersides here and kind of pull them up and you make like a point at the top. I'm not very good at this, but if you want to try to do something a little bit fancier, you could do something like that, okay? I actually like to make knots. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that. So we're just going to take some dough, make sure it's all nice and put together, okay? You can just take them and roll them out. If you want to put flour down, you can. I don't think I need it. I think it's good. I'm doing 2 at a time. You don't have to do 2, but just roll it out into a little line, okay? You're going to take it. You're going to take these 2 fingers, this one and this one, and you're going to wrap it around, okay? And then you've got here, and you're going to come around. So you're going to cross over this end, okay? Then you're going to tuck it in here, and you're going to bring this all the way around and tuck it in there, okay? And you got a nice little knot, okay? So that's what I am going to do. I'll show you again. Take this one. Okay, 2 fingers, you're hanging on to this end. Wrap it around and bring it so it crosses over this little end. Tuck it in, and you can take it off your fingers to do this part if you want. And then bring this little end around and tuck that in as well, okay? Nice little knot, okay? So with this, you're gonna go ahead and make as many rolls as you need, and then you're going to let them sit for about an hour. Let's see. Yeah, it says for about an hour to, basically let them rise up. And then you can bake them at 450 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes. It says this will make 4 dozen rolls. I don't know if that'll be true with making the knots because I think this kind of I use a little bit more dough than what you would for a regular roll. But yeah, so it's up to you guys on how you want to roll them out and how you want to do this and all of that. If you just want to make little roll balls, that's fine. You can also, if you want, make some garlic butter, which usually takes just some butter, of course. Usually use like soft butter. And you can mix some butter with some minced garlic, like the minced garlic that comes in a jar, and then also some parsley, and just kind of mix that together and make some garlic butter. And then you can brush that on top of this. If you want to melt it a little bit to make it easier to brush, you can, or you can just leave it kind of clumpy and put it on top of this before you bake it. And then you can have some garlic knots. So that's up to you if you want to do that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to get these rolled out and let them sit for an hour. And then I am going to bake them at 450 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes. And then I will come back when they are done and we will see how they turned out and see how they taste. So I'll be back in a little bit, guys. Hey, you guys. So our rolls are all done. And so here they are. Don't those look delicious? Woo, those look great. Okay, so I didn't put any butter or anything on mine before I cooked them, but I do have these couple of butters. So I've got a honey butter, if somebody wants to put it on there, a cinnamon and sugar butter, also a garlic and herb butter, and then just plain old regular butter, okay? So you can put anything on them you want. They're rolls. Do whatever you want. Dunk them in some soup, whatever. Okay, so here they are up close. Looks really good. The bottoms look fantastic. They're not burnt or anything. Whew, this is still hot though. Let's see. See if I can split it open without burning myself. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. There we go. Look at that. Oh, sorry. There's a loud car going by. Nice and hot. Looks delicious. And I love the little knots. They come out so cute. All right. See if we can try this. Woo, warm. Okay, here we go. Heavenly, you guys. Nice and moist, delicious, warm. Oh, fabulous. I could eat the whole tray, which would be really bad, but I could do it. Okay, you guys. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. Like and subscribe if you like, or don't if you don't. Everyone have a good day. Enjoy your cooking. Keep your kitchen messy, and we'll see you later. Bye.